Hey everyone, it's Adam Helfman. Welcome to the podcast. Today we got a great guest. His name's Josh Young from Voltron Power. We're going to be talking everything electrical. Do you need a generator in your house? Are the lights dimming? Christmas lights? Holiday lights? Christmas tree? Fire prevention? What's going on around your house today? We're going to have a conversation and we're going to answer all your electrical questions in studio today, starting right now. Hey, Josh.
Hey, Adam. How you doing today?
Thanks for coming back on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Always, always. So, let's get right into some really good content. Homeowners all have cell phones, iPads, some sort of device, a computer, laptop. Everything is electrical today.
It is.
So the amount of power that a house is using is more and more and more. People are plugging in the kitchen, in the family room next to the bed, in the bathrooms. Yep. What are you doing, or what are homeowners asking you to do? Instead of sticking 5 cords in an outlet, is there a way to take a look at someone's lifestyle and say, all right, here's what we can do to, now you have 2 kids, you and your husband or your wife, and everyone's got an iPhone, everyone's got a laptop, and everyone's plugging in. Can you look at a house, go do a review, and make a suggestion on how to add electrical?
Yes, and what we do is, like you said, we assess what they're using and what their demands are. And a lot of times, the circuits get overloaded when you plug too many things in. So we'll run a direct wire from the panel and add plugs throughout the house where they need them. And in situations where they're plugging in devices, they make combination devices that have built-in charging ports in them. So those are very popular these days as well. And so when we isolate them on a dedicated circuit and put in the charging devices, that helps people to lighten the load on their existing circuits and prevent circuits from tripping.
Okay, that sounds pretty cool. So when you say the charging devices are built into the plug, is that where you see those plugs where it looks like a USB and it's in there?
Like a mini USB or a USB-C, yeah.
Do those charge at the same amperage or wattage? I don't know how they do that.
They're faster than the little plug-in transformers.
They are. So they're faster than the cubes.
Yeah, yep.
Oh, okay. So if someone says to you, look, I want to upgrade the electrical in my house, and do you start at the panel and say, look, you have a 100 amp panel, you need 150 or 200?
Start at the panel, work your way down to individual circuits. A lot of panels, most panels are 100 amp, they're old, they need to be replaced. That includes the outside service as well. So the whole electrical main system upgraded. And
is that expensive?
Well, expensive is a subjective term. They can run anywhere from $1,800 to $3,000 or higher, depending on the situation.
But it's cleaner power.
That's typically the average is between $2,000 and $3,000.
Okay, well,
and
that's
then, like
cool.
I said, you start with going to the individual circuits and the devices that have the built-in charging ports in them.
What about the homeowners who go to a big box store or hardware store and they buy the plug that has the built-in USBs? They get on YouTube and they see some video, how to replace a plug. Everyone's an expert today. Well, and they ruin it.
Yeah, you run the risk of, if you wire it wrong, they're really sensitive. They have electrical components inside, electronic components. If you wire it wrong or short it out, then it can just ruin it and fry it, and then you just spent $30 for nothing.
And then if you plug your device into it, can it ruin your device?
I guess it could, but if it would ruin the device before it would ruin your phone, because it would fry immediately if you wired it wrong, and you wouldn't have time to plug your phone in. So it would. The main concern would be ruining the device, not the iPad or iPhone you're plugging in.
So there's a risk to that.
Yeah, and electrical shock if you don't know what you're doing.
Most people, again, it says turn off the circuit. I never know if it's on or off, and it's better to go with a pro, obviously, my opinion. So those are some things, because, again, electrical usage is up.
Yeah.
The grid is not as good as it was.
No.
It's old and aging.
Well, the grid is old and aging, and our demand is higher.
Correct.
So that doesn't take a genius to figure out what's going to happen. You mentioned a second ago about when you said plugging too many things in, and I was talking about the adding new circuit and the plugs. That will also create a situation where you're not stressing out your existing circuits. Because what will happen is if you plug too many things in on an existing circuit, there's all kinds of lights and plugs throughout your house already being used, and you're just adding to that. So
that's where the heat comes in. It starts to get hot.
Yeah, if you plug in too many things to an outlet, it'll get hot for sure.
Home fires, you see them in the outlet. You see how they started and stuff.
A lot of them are from loose connections.
How does a wire get loose over time when there's no moving parts?
Oh, boy. Well, there's always slight vibrations within a home. It's
Okay.
just the nature of the planet we live on, I guess. And so over time, and plus usage, plug it in, taken out, plug it in, taken out. Those can loosen connections within the plugs. Also, in the back of plugs, there's 2 ways to connect the wires to the plug. They have these little holes that you just poke the wire in. Those are very poor connecting means, and those are what get loose the most.
And then on the side, there's that curve with a screw.
That's the
and
best
that's the
way.
one. Okay.
But you have to tighten the screw. I've seen situations where they loop the wire around the screw but didn't tighten it. So it's just sitting there arcing and getting hot and can create a fire.
Interesting.
And a second ago, you said that it tells you to turn the power off before you work on it.
Yeah.
And you said you don't know which was which. That comes into labeling your panel.
Never labeled right.
We'll come into your house, and it's a 2-man job because one guy sits at the panel and turns the breakers on and off. The other guy walks the house, tests all the lights and plugs, and we mark the panel circuit breakers, each one for exactly what they control. So when you go down there and you want to turn something off, you know exactly what it is.
Yeah, I get it. That makes sense, and that's actually smart to do that. So let's give advice to a homeowner on an electrical checkup. You know, you go to the doctor, you get a physical. You go to the car dealership, they check your car. You know, they plug in all the monitors and look for that. Your house doesn't have an odometer, doesn't have a let's get a checkup. There's no red light or engine light that when there's an electrical issue, right?
Right.
So is it safe to say that all homeowners should at least one time have an electrician come over and do an electrical inspection / checkup?
Absolutely.
Okay, so let's break that down for homeowners really quick and just say, if someone doesn't have any electrical issues, even though we know we can add, we'll add to the checkup list, but what would a standard electrical checkup, someone says, oh, I saw this podcast with Hire It Done, and I just want you to come over and look at my electrical. Tell me what that entails and the range of what it would cost.
We would start at the electrical panel and the outside electrical service, because that's the main power to the house. And we'll determine the condition that's in, if it needs to be replaced or not. And then we start to look into grounding system, which is connected to your main panel, and make sure that's all up to code. And then we'll go into GFI protection, those plugs with the reset buttons. They have to be in your bathrooms, your kitchens, your basements, your garages, outside plugs at the front and back porch, things like that, and make sure those are all up to code. And then we can ask questions as like if any plugs are loose, if you plug in your vacuum in, if that plug is loose and the plug comes in and out real easy, those are...
Can you fix a plug that has it, or you have to replace the receptacle?
It's the inside components that you can't field fix.
I have plugs in my house that I just thought about it, that where you plug it in and the actual plug falls out.
Yeah, that just needs to be replaced. There's no parts you can get into and fix that. It's all internal into the plug, and they've just been loosened over years.
Okay, so a basic home electrical inspection, what are we charging a homeowner for that?
We charge $400 for a basic home inspection,
Okay.
and that
You're
covers
there
all
for,
those things.
You'll
Couple
check
hours,
every...
yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Now, to supercharge that and to maximize the value there, if a homeowner says, I want recessed lights, I want to put some extra plugs in that have the chargers in them, that's when they should do all that so that you can piggyback the inspection. Is there a savings? Because obviously you're already there.
Yeah.
There's a savings for that?
Yeah, if you already have jobs scheduled, like you wanted us to come in and put recessed lights or a car charger or whatever it may be, and then piggyback a home inspection, that can absolutely be a lower cost than that. So if we just come out just for the inspection, we would have like the $400 fee. If you wanted to roll that in with anotother project, we could easily do it for $300, $250.
So it saves you money. So there is a savings.
Yeah.
Okay, that's why I was asking. Now, I'm going to make an assumption and tell me if I'm right or wrong. When you're doing an electrical work, any kind of work on a homeowner's house, built house, been around for a while, you're always fishing wires.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're fishing wires, is it safe to assume like someone who has TVs on the walls and the wire comes down, that bothers me. I want that hidden.
Yeah, everybody does.
Can you do that?
Yeah.
Drill a hole and then drop it and then come out the bottom?
And we'll put the plug and any kind of cable or HDMI cords behind the TV and then down the wall and hidden behind your entertainment center or whatever.
So if a homeowner has wires that are exposed, you can actually go there and offer them to like tidy it up and hide the wires, go behind the wall, come down, because a lot of people are like, oh, I have this over my fireplace, right? And it's brick behind it.
It's tricky, but yeah, we can do it.
You can thread that needle.
Yeah.
I like that.
Even if it's a natural fireplace. That's tricky. That's real tricky.
You've been able to do it though.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. Well, then you have a lot of business. That's good. All right. So that's it. So if you want to clean up your plugs and you want to get all that together and declutter the electrical, it's pretty easy. Now, when someone's at the Home Depot, the big box store or hardware store, and they need extension cords.
Yeah.
I've seen the little cheapos. There's the 3-prong, the 2-prong. Do you have a recommendation for homeowners? If you're going to buy an extension cord, here's the one I recommend, because I've seen some cool ones like fabric on the wire. It's kind of better looking. They're not all the same, clearly. What do you recommend that a homeowner looks at and buys?
It would depend on the application. What are they using them for? I wouldn't get a fabric wrapped extension cord if you're using it outside for Christmas lights.
Okay, so let me create the scenario. I'm sitting on my couch, watching the TV, and I have the plug behind the couch, and I want the wires coming through the couch so I can, my iPad, my cell phone, I want them plugged in while I'm watching TV, social media, clicking, texting, 75 ADD things that I do. But I want them all plugged in and be charging. So
so you're talking a power extension cord, not like a charging cord.
Well, the extension cord, then the charging
and then
cord plugs
plug
into
all of your chargers into that.
And I've seen them with the built-in circuit breaker, like the on-off.
Yeah.
Is there one you recommend, or is it just...
No, I've never been requested to install that before, but it would be something where I would recommend like a heavier duty one. With electrical, it's always to go with a higher gauge of wire than a lower.
So the thicker the wire, the 3-prong over a 2-prong.
Always,
what is the 3rd prong? Is that the ground?
The ground, yeah.
And what does grounding mean for everyone out there, just so we can,
A lot of times they're not used. Most appliances just have a 2-prong, but what it's made for initially is any appliance you use, like an old school mixer or a hand drill, that would have a metal housing. If something happened inside the machine or the appliance and the hot wire touched the shell, the housing of the fixture,
would electrify it.
It would become energized if it wasn't grounded.
Got
and
it.
then if you touch it, you could get shocked. With it being grounded, it would trip the circuit breaker if there was ever a fault inside the appliance.
Interesting information.
But everything's plastic now, so that they mostly come with 2-prong cords.
And plastic doesn't conduct electricity.
Correct.
So the risk of electrical shock is lower.
Is minimal, yeah.
As we've evolved, it's gotten lower and things like that. So the demand of energy is up because of all the devices people have.
And the grid hasn't been upgraded or maintained, so the risk of power outages and brownouts and surges has increased.
Yeah, I actually lost power at my house a couple times in the last.
Do you have a generator?
Not yet.
Wow. I don't know what we're waiting for.
It's on the plan for us. We're going to get that done. I know that for sure. So let's talk about standby power, accessory power, additional power, and things like that.
Okay.
Obviously, the number one extra power on a house would be a generator.
Well, that's a power source, yes.
Yeah. If the grid goes, or the power goes out, you lose power, generator is there. Now, let's define for the audience the different types of generators. There's a portable generator.
Yep, that's the one that's on wheels.
You have to put gas in it.
Start it yourself with,
And then there's plugs on the side of it, and you just plug devices in.
Yep.
Now, can someone take one of those and work so that they go in their garage and start it, but then the plug goes into their panel?
Well, you don't want to leave your generator in a garage. You would want to keep it outside.
Open, ventilated exhaust, right?
Yes.
No one wants to die. Although, I have people who put generators in basements.
That's insane. That's completely insane.
Yeah, it's insane. I know. They're not
totally
being smart.
die from that. Anyway, there's a couple different ways to backfeed your house from a portable generator.
Backfeed.
Yes.
Define that for the audience.
Well, that's just another power source into your home other than the utility.
So the electrical wires coming in, go to the right, go to the pole off my house and come down into my panel, and it makes my house have power.
Yeah.
The power goes out, so that wire's coming in, then I'm putting a generator in, or a portable generator to plug in. Does it stop that power?
You have to separate the connection points, because once that utility line comes back on, you'll now have two power sources colliding.
What happens when two collide?
Well, you could blow out your generator, blow out appliances in your home, hurt a line worker, blow out a DTE transformer, all kinds of things.
Dangerous.
Not only that, if you don't separate the power sources, when you turn your generator on, it sends power back up the utility lines, and it's going the opposite direction now. And if you've got linemen working on them, those will become energized, and it's a hazard for utility workers.
Dangerous.
Very dangerous.
Okay.
So they have several different ways to prevent that with
A cutoff or something?
yeah, mechanical lockout kits and Gentran units, and even
Are those automatic, or they have to be manually
the
switched?
only thing that's automatic as far as for portable generators
Yeah.
is this new device called a GeneraLink. And what that is it's a system, it's just a part that you take out your electrical meter from your meter socket, you plug in the GeneraLink, and then you plug your meter into that.
Okay, so it's
And it has a little plug on the bottom that you can plug your portable generator in.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
they come with an automatic one. Now, you obviously don't have a way to turn it. Doesn't turn your generator on,
right,
and then transfer power.
It just takes to make sure the power
Once you're plugged in, and the power comes back on, it automatically kicks it back to utility power, so you don't have to go out there and do it.
Okay, well that's kind of unique.
But then you still have to go turn
Have
your
you
generator
installed
off.
those yet? That seems pretty new.
They actually, GeneraLink contacted us, and I spoke with them, and they saw that we've been in business for years, and we have all kinds of awesome reviews online, and they asked us to be a rep for them and then a certified installer.
Are you working on that?
So we already are. We
So
work
why
with them
are we
now.
not doing
if you
it
go
at
to
my
the
house?
GeneraLink website, because you want an automatic standby.
But you do both,
yeah.
right?
No, you wouldn't do a GeneraLink with an automatic standby.
But
That
if the
has its own
automatic
transfer
what if
switch.
that goes on, what goes down? I want to have a standby.
Then
A standby for the standby.
We can do it. We can do a GeneraLink and a
I like
GeneraLink.
the gadgets. That's all.
No, that's fine.
Okay, so then there is a device. Okay, so if someone's in the market for a generator, we're going to start.
You're talking
first.
a home standby.
No, we're going to talk about portable
Okay.
first. Then we're gonna migrate up to that.
You got it.
What advice can you give a homeowner for a portable generator? So they're going to go to the hardware store, big box store, or online, or Facebook Marketplace. They're going to find a generator. What advice do you give them when they're looking to buy one? Is it just pick like what appliances in your house you need, or what?
What I would say is the first thing to do is call an electrical contractor.
Call you
Because we call Voltron Power. We will tell you, we will ask you questions of what you want powered when the power goes out. So then we can give advice on the size of the generator to get, the wattage, fridge, freezer, furnace, sump, whatever you want powered from your portable generator during a power outage, we would be able to recommend the size of generator to get.
So my question is, if you have kids, someone like me,
A grown kid.
right? I think that my biggest request besides the fridge would be that I want to be able to charge all my phones and my tablets and my devices because
your furnace is pretty important too, I would say.
Oh,
yeah.
that's right.
Warmth
Furnace.
in the winter. Yes.
Well, I got a fireplace. I just start burning furniture.
There you go. It's all old and dated anyway.
Yes, it is. Thank you. It's all good though. I got a roof over my head.
There you go. Leaky,
Okay, so that too. So you'll talk to a homeowner and ask them, and then they'll say, "Well, I don't know. What do you recommend when a power outage?"
Then I would make those suggestions.
Okay, so
Sump pumps is really important.
Sump pump,
Furnace,
refrigerator, furnace.
freezers.
3.
Those are the basics.
So 3 items. What for the average? Those 3 items. What do you recommend?
Well, let's see. Sump, furnace. I mean, you could probably get away with a 4,000 watt generator for those.
Okay, and then they say to you, "All right, I'm going to buy the generator," or you can say, "Listen, I'll sell you everything, the whole package, turnkey installed." You'll do that too.
Yeah. What I was talking about with the other devices, though, when you got the GeneraLink system, that backfeeds your entire panel. So if you get a small generator and plug it in, you've got to do some things to your panel yourself.
Right.
If it's summertime, your central air kicks on automatically. If you don't turn that breaker off and you've got a 4,000 watt portable generator, that thing is going to go and bog down. You're going to brown out. You're going to fry electronics and maybe damage the generator itself. So if you're going to go with a small generator, I would recommend what we call a Gentran unit. And it's a little box that mounts next to your main electrical panel, and you pick the circuits that go into it. So the generator powers that box and only those circuits.
Got it.
So when you turn your generator on, you go down and you flick those switches for the circuits you want, and those are your emergency circuits.
Okay, so let's say it's the refrigerator, the oven, and those. The question I have is, do you take those circuits out of the panel and put them in there so the panel has extra space
it's
now?
both, because you have to have the
runs
power
both.
from the main panel into the Gentran unit when they're in, normal utility power.
Sure.
Okay, so you have the wires from the main panel going into that box as well, because those circuits still have to have power when the utility is on. You flip the little switches. They're actually their own individual transfer switches. You turn the generator on, you click them down. Now they're on generator power.
Got it.
And that's a fail-safe, so you're not using your generator power that can come back up the utility lines.
So the moral of the story here is if you're going to do extra power or do it right, call a pro, have you come out, assess the situation, then
Yes.
you'll create a roadmap for the homeowner. Say, here's what we recommend, here's what it costs, here's how we can get it
what
done.
you want powered up during a power outage, and what generators and options and lockouts.
So at that
we
point,
recommend.
does it make sense to go to a standby, get natural gas style generator for a
Very
house?
big cost difference, and I know that's inhibitive to a lot of folks. And
Sure.
It's expensive. It's going to cost you anywhere from like $12 to $15,000 for a typical standby.
Okay. So
The standby
$12,000 to
generators,
$15,000 will get you.
that's fully
the
installed,
grid goes
everything.
out, and your house is running off of natural gas all the time.
Yeah.
Now, my question is let's say you put a natural gas standby generator that runs the whole house, because that's how I would do it instead of some parts.
Real quick,
Yeah.
they can run on propane tanks. There's
You
some
can do
people that
both.
still run propane tanks.
So they can do both.
Yes.
Multi-fuel, I think they call it.
Dual fuel, but you just have to make a little adjustment in the generator before you hook up to a propane.
Got it. So if they get on standby power, natural gas or propane, how long can a generator run like that and run your house?
It'll keep running
in perpetuity.
But
What will go wrong? It'll
it's
burn out oil because it's an
like-
engine.
Yeah, exactly. It's like if you drove your car for a week straight without ever shutting it off, you'd need immediately. You might even have to call a contractor to come in and service it. If it's been running for 2 days straight, you'd probably want to shut it off or call somebody, have them come out, shut it off, change the oil and filters, and then have it up and running again.
Okay, so let's say we have a elongated power outage, 7 to 10 days.
Oh man, yeah.
But I have a generator. I did everything I was supposed to do. 4 days into it,
You're gonna have to have it serviced.
is there? But do people know that? What if
Probably
you
not.
can't get to the house because there's no electrical? Do I just add oil? Turn it off? Is there a way to turn it off and let it rest for a couple hours?
There's really, unless you're very mechanically inclined,
Yeah.
it's not user serviceable. You need a professional.
So the whole point of having power is if the grid goes down, you're still tied into you, I guess, the electrician to come in and
I mean, unfortunately for homeowners, you're going to be reliant upon the pros. Yes.
Okay. Well,
And I mean, then we would have big problems if there was a 7-day power outage because there's thousands of generators around town, and there's not thousands of electrical contractors. So there's going to be chaos if that happens.
yeah, whatever. But okay, so but you're available. The chances that look at the average power outage is not more than 12 to 24 hours.
Right.
Tops.
And even if it was 2 days and your generator was on the whole time, that's fine. But as soon as the power comes back on, you're going to want to schedule like a tune-up or a service.
Sure. So if a homeowner gets a generator, has it done, power outage, very minimal, once or twice a year, but it works. They're happy. Oh my God. Because it's the best is when you have a generator, the power goes out and it works, and you're like, yeah, I got power, right? You feel good. Like your investment just validated
Absolutely.
it. It's terrible when the power goes out and the generator's not working. You're like, what happened? And then you got to figure that out. But assuming everything's smooth, everything's kosher, and it works fine, maintenance on a generator once a quarter, once every half, like you changed your air filters depending on your furnace monthly or quarterly or every once a year or whatever. What do we do on a generator? What's the maintenance on one of those?
I would say once a year, schedule a maintenance program. They'll come up and change your oil filters. Also
Check
stuff
all
like
the
that.
running.
Not check up, yeah. They also have remote monitoring.
That's
where
cool.
you
That's
can,
new.
The generators tap into your home's Wi-Fi, and they have their own little Wi-Fi hub.
Yeah.
And the service contractor can have that linked to their computer at their
if
office.
something goes wrong,
and
they'll
they'll know immediately if there's an error in
Check
your
engine
generator.
light.
Yeah. So you may be on vacation, and if there's something wrong with your generator, they'll know immediately. They'll call you. Hey, we have an error code. We can send a tech out and get that fixed for you.
So there
not
are
everybody's looking at their generator to see if there's an error on it. They wouldn't know
No.
until the power goes out and their generator
It's there.
doesn't turn on.
You want it to work. You want it to be automatic. Look, it used to be a luxury to have air conditioner. Now air conditioning is standard. It used to be a luxury to have walk-in closets. Most houses today have walk-in closets, right? So the next frontier is having an automatic standby generator as part of the house.
It's a big expense, and if they equip new homes with them by the builder, it's going to add a significant cost
Right,
to
it's
every home.
$8 a month per $1,000 in a mortgage. So couple $100 a month if you
roll
want to
that
do that.
into the build. Yeah.
And it's okay. And I think that's the way it should go. Now, speaking of generators, you got electric cars, the EVs. I went really down that path for a minute, almost got one. And we had talked about it, you and I.
Yeah.
If you have an EV, Tesla, GMC, any of the brands, and you have a generator, and you have a house that sometimes loses power, what do you do when you want to charge your car and the power's out? A generator's not going to really help you, is it?
It depends on the size of the generator. When you have your car charger system hooked up, the typical ones we install are a 40 amp, a 50 amp, or a 60 amp. When you're charging your car, it's at full load. There's no adjustment to where only want
Trickles,
20 amps going.
It's 60
it's
amps
full.
the whole
Whatever
time.
its rating is it's full. So your generator would have to be sized to accommodate that load.
So a
that if
60
the
amp
power
generator
goes,
will not do the house and when it's charging.
correct.
It's using 60 amps.
You'd have to not use anything else.
Makes sense. Okay. So you, as the electrician and as the professional, when a homeowner calls you and says, hey, I need you to come over to my house, I'm thinking about a generator, do you ask the question, do you have an EV?
Absolutely. That's one of the first questions we ask.
Okay, so I have an EV. How does that impact the generator? Do we need to put a bigger one?
Yes.
And as the just in case, or you tell the homeowner, look, you're going to have to charge your car another way, or you can't do both?
Well, there would be no other way if the power was out.
Okay.
And if if you said if the power's out for 7 to 10 days, you can't charge your car unless you have a properly sized generator.
So then that impacts the cost.
Yes.
Okay, so now let's move to the next part of the add-ons. Got a generator. I have an EV, but I've also looked at those power walls where the home house battery. It's in the garage. They're stacked up. You've done those?
We have, and they're very expensive though, and they don't give you the bang for the buck. Those batteries only will last about a day and a half. And
so your whole house
for
can run
about
on a day
twice
and a
the
half.
cost of a generator, it's
Really?
a really tough sell.
Okay.
And I'm just being honest because
But what if I have a house, a generator, and I want the batteries for another reason? Let's say the batteries, let's say I have solar on my roof. The solar charges the batteries.
Yep.
So I'm not using electrical grid or any of that. But when the power goes out, I want it to automatically go to my generator. But then if the generator goes out...
What goes to your generator? Because your generator is a power source.
Yeah. So if the power goes out from the city, from DTE or the supplier goes out, I want it to automatically transfer to my generator.
Yep.
So the generator now becomes my new power source, but still have solar powering the batteries only.
You can
and then if the
separate
generator,
items in your house. Yeah.
So if the generator goes out, can I have a third way to go from the generator to the batteries, whole house batteries, to start powering things or not?
From the generator to charge the batteries, oh man, I would have to map that out on a piece of paper.
It's possible, but I'm getting way in the weeds.
Yeah,
I'm nerdy like that. Okay.
But no, it's a good question because if you want all those items, batteries, solar, generator, and you want to be able to customize and configure it on the fly, then that would be something that we'd have to look into
electronic components.
And map out.
What about solar? Now that we have solar power, you hear about it in a lot of places. It's very difficult because
it's very inefficient.
It isn't,
and it's very expensive to install. And you run the risk of especially where we live here in Michigan, cloudy days,
roofs.
Yeah, on the roof, you get pollen from tree pollen. That little dust can cover it and affect its efficiency.
It impacts the efficiency by almost half. Yep. How do you clean that?
Exactly. How do you clean it? Hire somebody to climb on your roof and wipe them off.
Well, that's a good way.
Or in the wintertime when it snows. They're going to be covered in snow. They're not going to work at all.
Do they produce a little bit of heat to melt? I don't know. We'd have to look into that.
Yeah.
Maybe we should put solar on my house too. Solar, batteries, generators. I'm ready. Let's roll.
Let's do it.
So that's good. Okay, so then you're fully equipped. Now, Generac, Kohler, Briggs & Stratton. I see a bunch of names for generator brands. Obviously, we already know the best generator is the one that's installed properly.
Correct.
Do you have a favorite?
We are authorized Generac dealer and installer.
Generac's like the big boy.
They are, and their quality over the past 20 years has really skyrocketed. So they're as good as Kohler and Briggs & Stratton and all the names that people typically hear with the premium ones.
So the newer Generacs. So,
well, real quick, the good thing about the Generacs is their service technicians and their parts availability is far more than Kohler and Briggs & Stratton. Easy to get, easy to maintain, easy to fix.
Local parts, local availability means your generator's down less.
Yeah.
work up and running faster. Okay, that makes perfect sense to me. And I want to add, from my research, and you tell me if I'm right or wrong, pricing on Generac is better.
It is, although generators in general have gone up a lot in the past several years.
Not cheap.
Mean, $2,000 in the past 2 years. It's incredible.
So I have a 200 amp service. Let's give a scenario. 200 amp service. I want, when the power goes out, my whole house to run.
Mm-hmm. Depends on what's in your house.
Okay, so I have average kitchen. I got 3 bathrooms. I got plugs everywhere because I'm charging everything. But it's just a regular house.
Another good way to size your generator is to pull your electrical bill or a history of your bill for the past 12 months. So you can get every month of electrical usage.
And then you want to set it up for the peak?
You can see your peak usage.
Peak is July because it's air conditioning and everything. And I want full air. I want my refrigerators. I got my freezer in the garage. I've got 2 furnaces. I got a washer and dryer on both levels of the house.
I would say use your peak usage from your electrical bill over the past 12 months and maybe increase it by 10 to 20% just to be safe.
So then
again,
I don't know how to do that. You could do that for me.
Well, yes, but then you'd have to do your own work and get a report of your electric usage.
Yeah, well, you just go
year.
online,
right?
Have digital bill.
But again, I'm gonna get into the car charger.
Sure.
If you don't have a car charger yet, you plan to, or you might, you're going to have to take that into consideration as well when sizing your generator, because again, they're at full load when you turn them on.
So if I have a 200 amp service and my panel is full, I don't have a car charger yet, thinking about it, just off the basics, would it be a 25 kW generator?
I mean, a 20, yeah, right around there.
Is it? How are generators sized by kW?
Yeah, that's wattage.
Okay.
And you just do a quick math equation, and you can.
Do
find
they come
out
in
the
any
amps
wattage, or is it like
pretty much? I think
they go up by 10%, or
the smallest one is about a 7K or a 10, and then they go all the way up to industrial ones.
What if I can get a deal on like a used commercial one that's like monster, like 50 kW?
Well, you won't get a warranty.
Okay, so that's important.
Yeah.
But if it's maintained, you get a mechanic that knows those kind of generators. Mm-hmm. It's worth rolling the dice, or better to do new?
Well, again, that's subjective. It all depends on the individual's risk tolerance.
Where do you do it on the outside? Like, where do you...
Well, different municipalities have different rules on where you can put the generator in relation to the home and the property lines. But on the side of the house or the back...
As close to the panel as possible, or the meter?
Actually, the gas line is more expensive to run, so closer to the gas meter is less expensive than closer to the electrical meter. Some places the gas and electrical are right next to each other, so we go right there, and that's a inexpensive install compared to if your gas or electric are on opposite sides of the house.
Got it. I have a perfect spot for a generator.
The difficulty of the gas line is the biggest variance in cost.
Okay. So, Josh, generators are important. Every house, I think, should have one. If someone's considering it, the next step for a homeowner considering a generator is to give you a call. You'll come out to the house and give an assessment and then a price?
Yep.
Okay. So
that's the best way to do it.
How long will that meeting take? You'll be there for how long? First meeting, just to give an assessment and meet with the homeowner?
It would depend on the house.
Less than an hour, though?
Depends. I would say so. I can't imagine it would take more than that. Unless it's some huge compound that's got all kinds of 50 air conditioners, I don't know.
Yeah, crazy. All right, so that's important. So generator, let's just say I get up to 20, 30,000 for the generator, and it's very doable.
Are you talking wattage or cost?
Cost.
20 or 30 grand?
Yeah, it's a big job.
Yeah, well, that would be a real big job, and that's twice as much as a standard home. You could. No. That'd be a waste of your money.
So let's do this. So let's just say 15 grand.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't have the money right now to pay you, but I have good credit. Can you finance?
We don't have financing right now. What I have done with clients is they would give us half down so we can cover the cost of the material and part of the install, and then we can work out monthly payments between us and the client.
Okay.
But as far as through a bank,
in-house, yeah, but you don't have
we've got feelers out to Synchrony
We take
Bank,
credit cards
so,
and all that?
we got credit cards.
Okay.
Yeah.
So at least there's a chance, or if the homeowner needs to get an equity line of credit or something, they can pay for it. Mm-hmm. Okay. That's fair, and that's totally fine. All right, so moving on to the next subject. Christmas lighting, holiday lighting, Christmas trees. I always see the statistics. Fires are started electrical during holiday times because of the cat pushing it over. I know the risk has gone down a little, but let's talk about Christmas tree lighting. People overload the circuits all the time. What's your opinion on what advice to give homeowners?
Well, like you said, things are a little safer now, which is true because as far as overloading circuits goes, the lights are all LED now. So the load or the wattage is less. So you don't have as big a risk of overloading your circuits because you're using less power to get all those lights going. And that includes your outdoor Christmas lights as well. So if you're not using as much power, but you still get your full array of lights, then that's obviously a safer situation.
Okay. What do you recommend people plug their lights in on an extension cord or just right into the plug?
Well, obviously extension cords come with their own risks, but again, when you have a lower current flow through them, then the cords don't get as hot, and there's less risk of fire. Now, the one risk you have is with your outdoor lights, because you're plugging cords in just end to end and leaving that exposed to the elements. You can get snow melt in there, rain in there,
so there is water
that can create hazards. They do have connecting means that you can get from the big box stores that protect your extension cord connections.
Waterproof it or protect it. Yeah. Okay, that's smart. What about, just thought about this, changing light bulbs. I got incandescent bulbs. I've got quartz bulbs. They're heat. I want to replace them with LED. Yeah. But how do you convert like the wattage of a 75-watt light bulb? And the LED version is like 13 watts. Mm-hmm. How do you know, is it on the box or?
Yeah, and it'll also have the lumens. So you can look at your box of incandescents and say you have 60-watt incandescent bulbs, what's their lumen output, which is their brightness. So if it's like a 600-watt or a 600 lumen bulb, you can get that. You can find that equivalency in an LED bulb. You can go brighter too. And what's going to happen is if this is a lot of times when we retrofit recessed lights and going from incandescent or halogen to LED, basically, say you have a room with 8 recessed lights in it, one halogen bulb or incandescent uses the same amount of power as all 10 of them that are LED.
Wow.
So it's a massive savings.
And so, okay, well, that's even better. And I think the lighting's better, too.
Yeah.
Because you could change the colors as well. Mm-hmm. All right, so if you need Christmas lights or, any kind of electrical work, the homeowners are directed to call you. You're on HireItDone.com website.
We're not going to install your Christmas lights, but we'll install new circuits for them, new plugs, GFI protectors.
You'll make them electrical
ready. To
make
them safer for when you do your install.
Even better. Yeah. Even better. All right, well, that's fantastic. That's great information. So give your name and website and everything to the listener right now so they can check it out directly.
Well, you can call me. My name is Josh Young. My company is Voltron Power, and you can reach us at 248-568-0511 or at voltronpower.com.
And that's easy. Or you can always go to HireItDone.com, of course. Click to call. It goes right to Josh. Tell him you saw it on Hire It Done. Mm-hmm. We'd love to, give him a high five on that. Josh, thanks again for coming on. Great information as usual. When the snow hits, I want to get you back in here and talk about protecting the house around the snow.
You got it.
When snow melts, gets into the wires. Mm-hmm. How do you protect it from freaking out?
Well, again, that's part of our electrical inspection.
Get the inspection.
Get the inspection. And
there you have it.
Any hazards we see, we'll recommend repairs and fixes to them.
All right, perfect.
Thanks, Adam.
Thank you.
Relieve you of your doubt. What you don't know can hurt you. HireItDone.com.